Hello there. This is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Adapt, but stay on mission. Now, what do I mean when I say adapt, but stay on mission? Now, first of all, every single man needs to be on mission. That's the nature of a man, to really just move forward, to have a purpose, to have something that he's trying to accomplish. And it's a mission that's personal to you. But it's like they say, and I've seen some memes that would show what success is like. It's never a straight line. Whatever you're trying to accomplish is never like, okay, let me start, and you go straight to it. Especially if it's long term. Maybe something extremely short term, but when you're talking about a long term, lifetime mission for yourself, what you're trying to accomplish, what you're trying to impact the world with and leave to the world as a gift. Oh no, it's not a straight line. It's a crooked line. It's like you going someplace, say you driving someplace on the highway, right? But then you have some construction, you have some detours, you get a flat, you might have to change cars, something like that. Something's always going to happen. But the thing a man has to be able to do is adapt to whatever circumstances come up. He has to be flexible. He has to be. He has to not only be flexible to adapt, but he has to be able to handle whatever comes up, whatever situation happens that can potentially take him off of his mission. Because I'm gonna tell you what, there's a lot of guys out there, they'll say, I want to accomplish this, or I want to write this, or, write this book, do this job, shoot, get this woman, whatever the case is. But then all of a sudden something happens and they just give up. Another cliche thing is, if you want to see a lot of ideas that didn't come to fruition, go to a cemetery. And I've seen this with a lot with men. Now, understand something. I know, like, the primary thing I talk about on here is man gets woman, but it's bigger than that. It's just a man living his best life to become sovereign, to master a body of knowledge. But trust me, it's not always easy. I mean, there are so many obstacles along the way. There are people who will try to take you off your path. There are forces in society that want you to follow their agenda. I mean, it's a constant thing. It's a constant thing. Every day you probably face something, somebody trying to get you to do something. It's like even on this site, I've had so many people try to get me to talk about some stuff I don't normally talk about, And it's just like, no, I got a specific thing I do. And sometimes every now and then I got to tell somebody straight up. It's like, no, that ain't something I cover. All right. But that's because I have a final destination, or I have a journey rather, because, really, if anybody's on a mission, it should be just something that you're doing until the day that you transition into the afterworld. But whatever the case, though, stuff gonna come up. You have to have the ability to adapt, but stay on mission. Because trust me, it's easy. Like, okay, let me use an example. People know me for talking about the body game, and I'm gonna tell you what. When you on that path to shape your physical form, it's easy to get off of that path. Trust me, it's hard work. I think that's why some people have a problem with body game, because it ain't easy. It ain't easy. Something can throw you off. Like this thing with the COVID-19 and gyms closing. Somebody could have got started, like, say, yeah, I'm going to change my body. All of a sudden the gym's closing, and like, ah. And then even when they try to do workouts at home and everything, they, it's tough. It's not the same energy. It's not the same space. Because I've had to make those adaptations. Because at first when the gym's closed, I said, oh, okay, I can do push-ups for a few weeks. Then they stayed closed. So I was like, man, I had to like buy weights and stuff. I had to adapt. I had to change how I worked out. I had to change my rhythm. But I'm still on that path. And, and even a bigger thing than just the body game, for, health and getting women and just being in your best shape, business, making money. There's a lot of people that they might have had a good job, but, furloughed. You might have had a certain business that might have been forced to close, because I talked about that on my business channel. You got some, maybe somebody might have a little store or kiosk in a mall or something. And, they're making their money. All of a sudden, they're in a place where, the governor said, well, the mall's got to be shut down. I'm just like, wait a minute, hold up, that's your business. But I said, yeah, you got to find some way to adapt, and that's a big business thing. Something I get in more on my business channel or my money manners channel, because I talk about money management as well. But, you still have to figure out a way. And I'm going to tell you what, when you're going through life, and this is something I would say for business, but you can apply this to all things. You need to have a plan B, C, and at some point a Hail Mary. You got to be able to adapt. Now, if you can say, okay, this is my backup in case this happens, boom, you're pretty good. You're going along pretty good, right? Now, a lot of times you can have that. You can have something in place. And a lot of smart people, a lot of forward-thinking men and women, really, men and women will have something in place. But then sometimes the thing you got to also be ready for is that thing that comes out of the blue, which will happen. It's easy to have something in place if you have a general idea of what could go wrong or what could throw you off the path, but then there's something just totally out of the blue. The thing is, you still have to be able to adapt. Now, I'm saying this in general, first you got to stop and analyze the situation. Like if it's just something total out the blue, and just, you got to take it apart, say, okay, what's going on? What's happening? You might have to read something, you might have to do some research or something like that, but you got to stay calm. And then it's like, okay, here's something that happened. This is how I fixed it, right? Now, this is how I can adapt it to what my mission is, what my purpose is, right? But check this out. Sometimes something might happen that just throw it off totally. Like this whole COVID thing and the economic impact, some people might be thrown off totally. It's even then you got to say, okay, my mission, my destination is still the same place, right? Now, remember, I started out with the analogy is driving along the highway. Okay. As an analogy, what if the whole highway is jacked up? Construction, accidents, I don't know, whatever. I don't know, got bombed out or something. I don't know, whatever. All right. You still got the destination in mind, but then you might have to take those back roads or something. And I actually had that one time. I remember I was driving when my mother was still alive in a nursing home. I was driving to see her and everything, but a road that I would normally take was totally jacked up, like for several miles, because they were just repairing it and stuff. So they had a detour. So I had to adapt to a different way. Still got to my destination, but just a different way. That's how you have to adapt sometimes. You keep the destination, the mission, that stays there, but then you might have to go a different way. Shoot, you might have to drive. You might have to drive to a certain point and then take that 10 speed, that bicycle. Shoot, you might have to walk, but that point is still there, and that's what adaptation is. But the thing is, you still stay on that mission. That's the key, no matter what. And you still completed whatever you got to do. And you gotta you can't let that adaptation or that obstacle stop you. Too many people let it stop them, and then wonder why they haven't succeeded in life or anything. It's like, no, you're gonna figure out a way. And sometimes you might have to figure out a way. Now, using that highway example again, and maybe the car breaking down, had to use a bike or car or walk. Shoot, sometimes you gotta figure out how to get back in that car, and really maybe even get back on that highway at a point that it's not jacked up. Now, I want y'all to really think about those analogies, and that's how you have to be on your life mission. Anything can happen, but that mission stays the same. You got to figure out a way to complete it. Adapt, but stay on mission. Very key, very key. So that's all I got for today, fellas. Y'all have a great day. Peace.